Let's try now to return to Julia Bue-Said from Advantage Travel Partnership. Julia, hopefully the technicals will all work this time. I was just asking you about what countries you think, based on the data, should be going on the green list.
Good morning, and yes, thank you. Sorry, I've got an internet connection which isn't great this morning. I think it's really difficult, to try and speculate, because unfortunately what we really don't know is the exact criteria the government uses. And as we've seen before, there are destinations which we feel should be on there where the rates are low, such as Malta, as an example. Well, that should have been on many months ago if we go by the criteria that we know. Unfortunately, when it comes to decision making on the traffic light settings, we're not given any clarity, and the government do seem to make decisions based on criteria they've not shared and not transparent with.
And would you be looking for some reassurance around the notice period for when a country might be moved around the traffic light system? Because we saw last time, didn't we, that Portugal, which, prior to that last review had gone onto the green list, was relatively quickly moved to the amber list.
Absolutely. Well, if we just go back on the traffic light framework that was put in place by the government, the policy that was implemented via the Global Travel Task Force, the whole idea of that was to create certainty for the consumers. So we didn't see the changes that we saw last minute, which you referred to, which we saw last year. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. There was supposed to be a green watch list where the government would have the ability of placing countries in that watch list so that they could make sure they were comfortable that from a case perspective, that cases weren't increasing, but it would give comfort to consumers that they wouldn't be last minute changes. That green watch list doesn't appear to exist anymore, didn't get used, and unfortunately leaves us really uncertain. So it's countries added on the list, but it's operating the list in the way that it was intended, to give real clarity.
Some of this is pretty irrelevant, though, isn't it? If those countries don't want to let holiday makers from the UK in because of the high rate of the Delta variant here. How concerned are you by what Angela Merkel has said, the German Chancellor, saying that she would like to see all EU countries asking visitors from the UK to quarantine? Germany and Italy already do, but she'd like to see that as a policy right across the EU.
I think we should be very concerned. I think having a conversation around the green traffic light system for the industry becomes a bit frustrating, because actually, to exactly your point, it doesn't mean, and it's not aligned with how countries receive us and whether their borders are open to us. So we need real alignment to make sure that when we're representing a green list to travellers, they know under no uncertain terms that those countries are open, they can travel there safely, and they're really clear on what restrictions will be in place for those countries.
So you work with independent travel agents. They must be dealing with a huge amount of confusion and uncertainty now, trying to give answers to potential customers where it's actually really difficult to give a firm answer.
It's exceptionally difficult. The travel agent community have had horrendous time, has all the industry. When you're not able to give that clarity, and when you're dealing with consumers that have travel plans, that want to meet friends and family, and they've had to change those plans time and time again, it becomes very difficult. So the clarity, the certainty is really needed, but also the ambiguity needs to go away. The amber list is a really big one of concern, where we have that ambiguity from the government around whether you should or shouldn't travel. The government needs to be really clear and make very clear comments so that the consumer knows exactly what to do, but also give the industry the ability to really start to recover and really help consumers who are desperate to travel and desperate to see family and friends.
OK, Julia, thank you very much for your thoughts on all of this morning. Julia Bue-Said, Chief Executive of the Advantage Travel Partnership.